There is a deliciously unhinged Hungarian folk tale that's basically Snow White on steroids. Buckle up for a wild ride where I promise you won't see anything coming and where you get a lesson about what happens when beauty becomes a woman's entire identity. It's called The World's Beautiful Woman. So this is a Hungarian fairy tale. It is set in Asia, and fairy tales do that a lot. They'll set it in some other place to make it seem more foreign. There's this beautiful, perfect paradise, and the most beautiful girl in the entire world lives there with her dad. In the same country, there's a king who has said, I'm only going to marry the most beautiful girl ever. So he sends 77 of his men out into the world to find the most beautiful woman ever. And when they find her, they're supposed to stay in the town she lives in and write him a letter. And eventually he gets 77 letters, but they are all from the same town because they've all found this girl, no one more beautiful ever. The king journeys to the girl. He's like, hello, I want to marry you. She falls immediately in love with him. Her dad is happy with the arrangement, not just because he's a king, but because she's never loved anyone else before. However, there's an old witch that our girl often turns to for advice, and after she gets married, she calls upon her. The old witch is acting all upset, and our girl's like, what's wrong? I'm the hottest girl ever. I just married the hottest guy ever. And the witch is like, yeah, that's the problem. I have prophesied that if you have a daughter with this man, she will be more beautiful than you. And then what's your identity gonna be? You won't be the most beautiful girl in the world anymore. So our girl immediately says, I cannot have this. I'll do whatever you say to make this not happen. The witch is like, okay, cool. Here's what we're gonna do. You can't have a daughter that's more beautiful than you if you don't get pregnant. So we need to kill your husband. When he comes to you to sleep with you, put this poison wool on your lips, and when you kiss him, the poison will go into his system. It'll look like he died of natural causes and no one will suspect. And so that's what they do. She kills him and gets away with it. But surprise, surprise, she's already gotten pregnant. And so even though she kills him, she still gives birth to this girl who is the most beautiful baby that has ever been born. The mom goes to the witch. She's like, what do I do? And the witch is like, well, let's make sure she's the most beautiful. I have this magic mirror. So ask the mirror who's the most beautiful. And she asks the mirror and it says, it's the girl. And so the mom's like, well, we gotta kill it. The witch is like, no, we don't have to do that yet. Hold on. And she takes the baby, she spits in its face and rubs the spit around. And apparently that was supposed to turn it into a monster, and it would have on any other normal baby. But this baby's so beautiful and enchanted, it doesn't work. But during the time that they're trying to figure out, should we end the baby or not, our girl's dad dies. She's so sad that she wants to keep the baby to like feel love and comfort herself. And so she's like, I'll let it live until it's 13. But at 13 years old, the mom decides, no, she's too pretty. I can't stand it anymore. Witch, go take her out into the forest and kill her. So the witch takes our 13-year-old girl, who is now our girl, the protagonist. He takes her out in the woods and wraps straw all around her and gets ready to light her on fire. But then suddenly 12 robbers ride by and they rescue her. I mean, not to be nice, they just want to steal her because they're robbers, and they beat the crap out of the witch and she has to pretend to be dead before they'll leave. They do leave with the girl, and then the witch gets up and she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go home and lie about killing the girl since that didn't work out. But during all of this, the daughter, our new protagonist, has fainted, and so she wakes up in the robber's house and they're all just staring at her. She's like, are you gonna hurt me? Are you gonna kill me? But they don't, because it says her innocent look would have tamed even a wild bull. So she's so beautiful and innocent that they now want to protect her. Be the ornament of our house and the feast of our eyes, and we'll give you anything you desire and take care of you. And she's like, that sounds like a good plan. A lot of times in these Snow White stories, the girl does domestic work for the robbers or the dwarves or whoever she's staying with, but this one doesn't. They hire 3 strong maidens to work for her. Robbers tell them to do whatever our girl says, or they will die the death of a pig. But our girl is nice to them, and she has like female companions. Snow White characters often don't get. Meanwhile, the Queen Mother is living her best life, thinking she's the most beautiful, and she's never asked the mirror because she doesn't see the point. But then one day she gets the ennui to go to her mirror. And that's the translation from the Hungarian. I don't know what the Hungarian word is, but ennui is just so great. It's a feeling of listlessness or dissatisfaction. A lot of us learned it when Inside Out 2 came out. Anyway, she asked the mirror's like, your daughter's still alive. So she's like, witch, go kill her. The witch dresses as a Romani woman. It doesn't use the word Romani, but I am. The other word is one you'll hear a lot if you watch The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So in traditional Snow White fashion, the witch gets the girl to put on this ring that makes her fall down dead because it's poison, and then she goes home thinking, oh, it's all good. But the robbers come home, they take the ring off, and then she wakes up again. The robbers are so dramatic. They smash the murderous ring to atoms with their hatchets. The witch comes back again, this time disguised as a Jewish woman. She tries to sell her a pin for her dress, but she falls down dead. Robbers come home, take the pin off, she's back to life. The witch this time disguises herself as a young girl. She gets our protagonist to let her put a pin in her hair, and she sticks it in and she falls down dead. And when the robbers come home this time, the pin's like so hidden under her hair that they can't find it, and they really can't wake her up. Robbers argue about what to do with her dead body because some of them want to look at it all the time, but others say that's too painful, but they also don't want to put it in the earth because they can't stand the idea of worms getting her, so they decide to put her in a gold coffin on an elk and just let the elk wander the earth. So the elk wanders to Persia, and when it gets there, the king of Persia finds it, finds the body, can't believe it's not smelling, even though it's clearly dead, and he's so in love with how beautiful it is, he does what they always do in these stories and takes it to his room and hides it there and stays with it all the time. A lot of times we're not told what they're doing with these dead girls. They hide in their rooms. Usually they're weeping over them. They're just looking at them. We hope that's all they do. In this story, we are specifically told he kisses her a lot. So, okay. Eventually he has to go to war. And while he's gone, his three sisters who've been super worried about him break into his room to figure out what's going on. They find the girl. What do they decide to do? Literally dress her up like a pretty doll. So they're like, taking her clothes off and doing her hair, and one of them finds the pin, pulls it out, she comes back to life. They are all excited, and they show her a picture of their brother, and our girl's like, oh, he's handsome. When he comes back, if he wants to marry me, I'll marry him. And they're like, cool. And he comes back, and he does want to marry her, and they get married. Things are good again for a while until, of course, her mom asks the mirror if she's the most beautiful because she's feeling ennui again, and realizes she's still alive, figures out where she is. At that time, the prince has to go to war again, and while he's gone, she gives birth to their two children, two twins, two golden-haired boys. The old witch who the queen has sent does something that happens a lot in folktales, which is to get the messenger going to tell the prince at war that he had two healthy children drunk, switching the letters and saying, no, she gave birth to puppies. And then when he gets the letter, he's like, well, it's okay. I forgive her. Take good care of the puppies. I'll be home soon. But then she gets the messenger drunk again and changes the message to kill her and the children. So her mother and father-in-law are like, well, we got to obey the letter. So they send her out into the woods with a soldier to kill her and the babies, but the soldier can't do it, so he just lets them go. Prince comes home, he's like, where are my wife and my puppy babies? And they're like, what? She gave birth to healthy boys and you said to kill her, so we did. And he's like, no. And the soldier's like, hey guys, it's cool, I lied. I didn't kill her after all. Let's go find her. So they do find her again without much trouble. And she's like, hey, I think we really need to do something about the witch and my mom. Like, I'm never gonna be safe from them. And he's like, I agree. They find the witch, they capture her. Our girl confronts the witch, who we're now told has a big horn in the middle of her forehead. And the witch is like, hey, surprise, I'm actually your aunt. I'm the daughter of your grandfather, your mom's sister, and because of this horn, they threw me into the river when I was born, but a devil coming along the road took me and raised me and taught me witchcraft, and I came into your mother's life to make her life miserable, like, as revenge. I covered her with smallpox, and she went so crazy from being ugly that she ran around screaming at the mirror and now is a raving lunatic on the countryside. Like, thanks for the confession, and then they hang her, light a fire of brimstone under her, then take her body, tie it to 4 horses, and send them off in different directions, so she's gone. Our girl finds her mom, tries to forgive her and show her her beautiful grandchildren, but she throws herself off a cliff and dies. Our girl and her man live happily ever after, and her sons grow up to be heroes. This went really long, so I won't say a lot about the analysis, but it's very clear that the obsession with beauty and that being someone's identity is what drives the mother and kind of everyone into making all the bad decisions that they make. The girl who ends up being our protagonist is incredibly beautiful, but that's never something that she's obsessed with. Maybe that's why she's the one who ends up happy in the end. Or because she didn't get thrown out into a river and raised by a devil, given a magic mirror that drove her crazy. The best question is, what happens if we're not so focused on women being beautiful, if beauty was not the most important thing they could attain or the only valuable thing that they have to offer? Maybe that's the root of all this evil.